On the remote island of Berk, life is anything but peaceful. The island is home to a tribe of Vikings who have spent generations fighting dragons. The people of Berk believe that dragons are dangerous creatures that attack their village, steal their livestock, burn their homes, and threaten their lives. Because of this, every Viking child grows up learning that dragons are enemies that must be defeated. Among the villagers lives a young Viking named Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III. Hiccup is the son of the village chief, Stoik the Vast. Unlike the other Vikings, however, Hiccup is not strong, muscular, or naturally skilled in combat. He is thin, awkward, and more interested in inventing machines than fighting dragons. Because of his differences, many people in Berk see Hiccup as a disappointment. Even his father struggles to understand him. Stoik dreams of seeing his son become a mighty dragon slayer and future leader of the tribe. Hiccup desperately wants to earn his father's respect, but no matter how hard he tries, things usually go wrong. One night, as another dragon raid begins, chaos erupts across Berk. Dragons swoop through the sky, setting buildings on fire and stealing food. While the Vikings fight back, Hiccup decides to prove himself. Using one of his inventions, a mechanical launcher, he aims at a mysterious dragon known as the Night Fury. The Night Fury is the most feared dragon of all. It moves so quickly through the darkness that few people have ever seen it clearly. During the battle, Hiccup fires his weapon and believes he successfully shoots the Night Fury out of the sky. When he tells the villagers, nobody believes him. They think it is impossible for someone like Hiccup to bring down such a legendary dragon. The next morning, Hiccup secretly travels into the forest searching for proof. Deep among the trees, he discovers the fallen Night Fury trapped beneath vines and unable to escape. For the first time, Hiccup comes face to face with the dragon. The creature is frightening yet strangely vulnerable. Hiccup raises a knife, knowing that killing the dragon would finally make him a hero. But as he looks into the dragon's eyes, he sees fear instead of hatred. The dragon appears just as scared as he is. Unable to kill it, Hiccup cuts the ropes and sets it free. The dragon quickly disappears into the forest. This simple act changes everything. Over the next several days, Hiccup returns to the forest and discovers that the Night Fury did not travel far. The dragon has suffered a serious injury. Part of its tail fin was destroyed when Hiccup shot it down, leaving it unable to fly properly. Curious, Hiccup begins observing the creature from a distance. At first the dragon does not trust him. Whenever Hiccup approaches, the dragon growls and threatens him. Gradually, however, trust begins to form. Hiccup brings fish as food. He studies the dragon's behavior and learns its habits. Little by little, the dragon allows him to come closer. Eventually, Hiccup gives the dragon a name, Toothless. Despite being called a Night Fury, Toothless proves to be intelligent, playful, and loyal. He behaves more like a giant pet than a monster. The friendship between the boy and dragon grows stronger every day. Meanwhile, Stoik leaves Berk with a fleet of Viking ships to search for the dragon's hidden nest. Before departing, he orders Hiccup to attend dragon training classes. Dragon training is designed to teach young Vikings how to fight and kill dragons. Hiccup joins other students, including the talented and confident Astrid Hofferson. At first, Hiccup performs poorly. But thanks to what he learns from Toothless, he begins understanding dragon behavior. He realizes that dragons are not mindless killers. Each species has unique instincts, fears, and personalities. Using this knowledge, Hiccup starts succeeding in training exercises. Instead of attacking dragons with weapons, he calms them. Instead of fighting, he communicates. The instructors and students are shocked. How can the weakest Viking suddenly become the best dragon trainer? Astrid becomes especially suspicious. She cannot understand how Hiccup transformed so quickly. One day, she secretly follows him into the forest and discovers his secret friendship with Toothless. At first, Astrid is furious. To her, dragons are enemies responsible for years of suffering. Seeing Hiccup protecting one feels like betrayal. Before she can report him, Hiccup convinces her to join him on a flight. Toothless spreads his massive wings and launches into the sky. Astrid experiences something she never imagined. Together they soar above mountains, clouds, oceans, and valleys. For the first time, she sees dragons from a completely different perspective. During their journey, they accidentally discover the dragon's hidden nest. Deep inside a volcanic mountain lives an enormous dragon far larger than any they have ever seen. The gigantic beast controls countless smaller dragons. Every day the smaller dragons are forced to gather food and bring it to the giant creature. If they fail, they risk being eaten themselves. Suddenly everything makes sense. The dragons are not attacking Berk because they enjoy it. They are stealing food because they are terrified of the giant dragon. Astrid finally understands that Hiccup has been right all along. The real enemy is not the dragons. The real enemy is fear and misunderstanding. Back in Berk, Hiccup struggles with what to do. He wants to tell everyone the truth. Unfortunately, convincing a village that has hated dragons for generations is not easy. Soon the final dragon training test arrives. Before the entire village, Hiccup is expected to kill a dragon and prove himself as a warrior. Instead of fighting, Hiccup calmly approaches the dragon and attempts to show everyone that dragons can be peaceful. For a moment, it seems to work. Then everything goes wrong. The frightened dragon panics and attacks. Seeing Hiccup in danger, Toothless bursts into the arena to protect him. The villagers are horrified. They see Toothless as a monster. The Vikings immediately capture the Night Fury. Stoic is devastated. Learning that his own son has been secretly helping dragons feels like a betrayal. The relationship between father and son reaches its lowest point. In anger, Stoic uses Toothless to locate the dragon's nest. The Vikings prepare for an all-out assault. They believe destroying the nest will end the dragon threat forever. A massive fleet sails toward the hidden island. Using powerful weapons, they break through the mountain entrance. At first, the Vikings celebrate. Then the giant dragon awakens. The enormous beast erupts from the mountain like a living volcano. It dwarfs every other dragon in existence. Fire explodes across the sky. Ships are destroyed. Warriors are scattered. The battle quickly turns into a disaster. Back in Berk, Hiccup realizes the Vikings are walking into a trap. Although Toothless remains imprisoned, Hiccup refuses to give up. Together with Astrid and the other young dragon trainees, he frees several dragons and flies toward the battlefield. For the first time in history, Vikings and dragons fight side by side. The young riders arrive just as the giant dragon begins overwhelming Stoic's forces. A spectacular aerial battle follows. Dragons dart through clouds of smoke. Fire blasts illuminate the sky. The giant dragon unleashes waves of destruction. Despite its enormous size, Hiccup refuses to retreat. Working together, he and Toothless coordinate attacks against the monster. During the battle, Stoic witnesses his son's courage and intelligence. He finally understands that strength is not only measured by muscles or weapons. Hiccup possesses qualities that make a true leader: compassion, wisdom, and determination. The final confrontation takes place high above the ocean. Toothless and Hiccup fly directly toward the giant dragon. Using careful strategy, they lure it into exposing its vulnerable areas. Toothless fires a powerful blast. The attack triggers a massive explosion. The giant dragon is defeated. However, victory comes at a terrible cost. As the explosion consumes the sky, Hiccup and Toothless are caught in the blast. Toothless desperately tries to protect his friend. Everything fades into darkness. When Hiccup finally awakens, he finds himself back in Berk. His friends and family surround him. The battle is over. The giant dragon is gone. The village is safe. Hiccup soon discovers that he lost part of his left leg during the explosion. Although the injury changes his life forever, he survived because Toothless shielded him from the worst of the blast. To help Hiccup walk, the villagers create a mechanical prosthetic leg. At the same time, Hiccup designs a new artificial tail fin for Toothless. Now both friends rely on each other. Neither is complete without the other. Their bond becomes even stronger. Life in Berk changes dramatically after the battle. The Vikings finally realize that dragons are not evil. Years of hatred and misunderstanding come to an end. Dragons become members of the community. Children play with them. Farmers work alongside them. The island that once feared dragons now welcomes them. Even Stoic changes his views. He becomes proud of the son he once struggled to understand. Instead of becoming a traditional dragon slayer, Hiccup becomes something far greater. He becomes the bridge between two worlds. The movie ends with Hiccup and Toothless flying together across the skies of Berk. Their friendship symbolizes hope, understanding, and peace. What began as a story about enemies becomes a story about friendship. What began with fear ends with trust. And what began with a single act of mercy changes an entire world forever. The end.